let's bring back the Chaiwalas because we need to break down silos and build collaborative organizations. People, processes, and technology are the foundations of any organization. Today, many organizations are quickly building out their technology strategy that might include moving to the cloud. Why move to the cloud? So that the legacy IT systems and applications don't hold them back and they can achieve better business agility at a much lower cost. Many organizations are hyper-focused on optimizing their critical business processes, like the ones that drive customer experiences or improve back-end operations. A few companies may even help their people grow and evolve to adapt to the future by creating an environment that facilitates learning and collaboration. So why are these changes not working out so well? As business architects, we often look at what parts make up the organization and how these parts work together. We look at the processes, capabilities, information, org structure, strategy, goals, business model, technology, and so on. But what we miss is what gives the organization its life. What makes it tick? Think of a human body. Just putting together the organs and connecting them with nerves and blood vessels does not give it life, does not give it character. That's the same with organizations. I realize this is a deep topic, one that hardly any of us think about. But in this video, I'd like you to get a little more curious about how you might develop other ways to think about the organization so that you can affect transformational change, both for yourself and for your organization. When I was a student, I interned at a large organization that made television sets. This company employed more than 10,000 people. The site included departments like sales, marketing, engineering, manufacturing, finance, support, inventory, shipping, and so on. I was on the 8 to 5 shift, which included about an hour lunch break. But the real magic happened twice a day, once around 10:30 a.m. and another time around 3 p.m., when the whole work comes to a halt. A large group of Chaiwalas, or people who serve tea, come through to hand you a cup of tea and some snacks. During this time, you can see a complete transformation right in front of your eyes. The whole place suddenly becomes energized. People get up from their desks and stretch out to take a break, while some walk over to a different area to share this break with a friend. Some gather around a table to play a quick game of cards, while others walk outside with their colleagues to enjoy what nature has to offer that day. My boss opens up a big bag he brought along, pulls out a huge stack of magazines to rent out. People flock around his desk to get the latest magazines and talk about the latest gossips. Yes, he was running a small magazine rental business at this time. The whole place looked like a festival. While from a scientific method of management and business operational excellence, it seemed inefficient. But this exercise truly helped to promote collaboration, connection, and idea sharing across the organization. Fast forward a few years to current times. The older buildings that house the whole organization has been replaced with the state-of-the-art factory. A separate multi-story glass headquarters were built for the leaders of the organization to lead from. And the Chaiwalas have been replaced by small cafes spattered throughout the organization. One now can get tea and snacks anytime they want, but there's a lot less interaction among the people. Leaders are ensconced in a different part and slowly lost touch with the pulse of the organization. To focus collaboration and bring people together, these same leaders set up collaborative spaces where people can meet up regularly. When that failed, they seated people in those spaces to force them to collaborate at the advice of some high-priced consultants. That not only created a noisier environment because somebody was always chit-chatting or holding a meeting at any time, but it also caused a loss of productivity for people who needed focus on their work. Morale plummeted. And that's the irony of managing people, processes, and systems with only data, not necessarily considering the human perspective, needs, and interactions. As business architects, we have to look at the organization from a holistic perspective and make some recommendations that can't necessarily be explained or neatly placed into one of these architectural concepts like processes or capability maps or value streams. Since these things cannot be categorized into neat buckets, you have to connect with the organization at a much deeper and personal level. To make that connection, you can start out with developing your curiosity to understand how the organization really functions while looking at non-traditional aspects and how the collective mindsets of people give the organization its heartbeat, its life. You have to try to understand the culture and what drives people. These abstract concepts are hard to conceptualize and frame. I agree. So what do? We cannot just ignore them as if they don't exist, because they do, and they can make or break the organization. For example, let's talk about a single concept, happiness of employees. Would you find that in any business model? Would you find that on any capability map or process? No. And yet, we know that happier employees make for higher camaraderie and higher productivity, leading to flourishing organizations. Happiness cannot be simply created by paying people higher and having great parties. Many Wall Street firms have high pay and hold wild parties, and yet have a very toxic culture. I would challenge leaders to think about how they can make their teams, their departments, and their companies happier as they lead the way into digital transformation to position their companies in a great spot within the business ecosystem. Figuratively speaking, let's bring back the Chaiwalas. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing. You can download a free one-page visual summary of this video by signing up for my mailing list on my website. Thank you deeply for spending some virtual time with me and giving me the motivation to do what I do.